Bears legend Dick Butkus has died.
And the United Auto Workers strike goes on.
And we just have a gorgeous Saturday on tap with the chance of some frosty temperatures.
We have that and more. This edition of 15 News at Noon starts now.
Thank you for joining us today on 15 News at Noon. I'm Mason Gleva.
And I'm Zoe Barajaz.
The United Auto Workers Union strike against the nation's biggest automakers is moving into its fourth week this week. As it does, the union president says there's been a major breakthrough in talks with GM. Big enough, he says, that the union won't expand its strike as planned. Emily Schmidt has more on the developments and how much closer it may mean the sides are to reaching a deal.
Friday's United Auto Workers Union live stream began late and with a bang.
We have had a major breakthrough that has not only dramatically changed negotiations, but it's going to change the future of our union and the future of our industry.
Union President Shawn Fain says GM agreed in writing to cover future EV battery plant workers by the same labor agreement covering other GM union members, which the union considers critical in an evolving industry.
If they were to close an engine facility, where would those workers go if not to the new technology, which is batteries?
We are making significant progress. In just 3 weeks, we have moved these companies further than anyone thought was possible.
Fain says Ford's wage raise offers jumped from 9% to 23% during the strike, with GM and Stellantis offers around 20% over the 4-year contract, all less than the union wants.
We gotta stand up and come out.
More than 25,000 auto workers are on the picket line, getting $500 a week in strike benefits instead of a paycheck. The Anderson Economic Group estimates the strike cost the economy nearly $4 billion in its first 2 weeks. GM and Ford laid off nearly 900 workers this week.
I think we're at a point where it's a lose-lose. Now it's just a matter of how much does everybody want to lose.
Fain said Friday things are moving fast, though he did not say if an end is in sight. I'm Emily Schmidt reporting.
Earlier this week, GM said in a statement it believes they have made a compelling offer. Ford said it has made its strongest offer on key economic issues since August 29th. Negotiations with all three companies continue.
NFL Hall of Famer Dick Butkus has died. On Thursday, the Chicago Bears announced that Butkus passed away peacefully in his sleep overnight at his home in Malibu, California. Butkus is widely regarded as one of the greatest linebackers the sport has ever seen. Known for his crushing tackles, he became one of the most popular players in Bears history during his 9-year career with the team during the 60s and 70s. During that time, Butkus was a first-team All-Pro selection 5 times and an 8-time Pro Bowl honoree. He was elected to the Pro Bowl Hall of Fame in 1979. Butkus was also known for his efforts off the field to curb the influence of performance-enhancing drugs in sports. Dick Butkus was 80 years old.
This story out of Utah is about Sadie Hawkins' dance proposal reaching the wrong person and one woman's quest to get the proposal to its rightful owner. Darian Ibrelli has the story.
The thrill of asking someone to a high school dance is something you never forget.
When I had crushes or people that I was interested in, I often kind of just took that very nervous step in trying to reach out.
At least Laurice Maurier hasn't.
It was successful, it wasn't successful, but I just remember when it wasn't successful how my heart just dropped. And I'm like, I do not want that for Katie.
Which is why when someone named Katie left cans of beans and a punny sign asking someone to a Sadie Hawkins dance on Maurier's porch,
the doorbell rang, and by the time I got to the front door, I saw a car pull away.
The hopeless romantic inside her couldn't let the bold gesture go to waste.
I immediately went on Facebook in Lehigh Citizens page. I went on Nextdoor, the app. In addition, I did some investigating myself to see which local high schools had a Sadie Hawkins dance. I've called both of those high schools, Lehigh High School, Skyridge High School.
Katie's dance proposal has created dozens of neighborhood sleuths.
Everybody's been pulling together and trying to really find Katie, because I think we all can relate at some point in our lifetime.
If and when Katie is ready to ask again, Marie says she has her creative dance puzzle waiting.
We're all just rooting for her to at least know that the reason she's not hearing from this person is not because they're not necessarily not interested. It's really, truly, they're not getting the message.
We have 15 Weather's Evan Gustafson in the studio. So, Evan, how long is this chilly air going to stick around? It's kind of brutal out there this morning.
Yeah, and that air is just going to stick around pretty much for the rest of the weekend and into this week. But I don't think too many people are complaining. It is just gorgeous outside. We do have those clouds kind of scattered, but that sun is peeking through. Looking at our current temperatures in Valparaiso, we're sitting at about 52 degrees with those clouds kind of sticking around. A little breezy with winds out of the northwest at 15 miles an hour. And looking at our Saturday forecast, we're going to be staying in those mid-50s with those clouds sticking around. But as we go into the evening, into the overnight, it should clear out, sticking around 50 to 45 degrees. And looking at our current radar, we'll see that lake effect rain going through southwest Michigan, but here we will be staying dry. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Evan. Coming up, we'll take a look at your Valpo sports.
But first, a pig goes on the lam. Stick with us.
A 400-pound pig is listed in the lost and found at an animal shelter in Aurora, Colorado. The big boar was on the lam and on a crime spree until officials were able to capture him. Now they're looking for a new home for the big boy. Christian Lopez introduces us to Fred.
It took a lot of puzzle pieces getting put together before we could finally solve the problem.
Aurora officials had been getting calls about a culprit who was wreaking havoc all around the city.
Through police department, through our own dispatch of a disturbance and some property getting torn up and some traffic issues.
They'd been working to track him down for days.
The first couple times we were unable to find what was causing the problems.
That is, until
we finally found him and got him corralled up. It took us about 8 people to capture him, yes.
Have you seen anything like this before?
Not in the city of Aurora, no. Nope, we have not ever had anything quite this size in the city that created such a disturbance.
It took about 2 weeks to finally capture Fred here, and he's been hanging out at the Aurora Animal Shelter for about a week now. So far, they haven't found his owner, but they're optimistic that they'll find him a new home.
He's very sweet, very loving. Loves the attention. He's a big boar and he was enjoying his holiday of running around the city. There is that possibility that he just got too big and somebody just turned him out, not knowing what else to do. Fortunately, he wasn't hit by a car at any point. He didn't create any, bigger issues for himself.
For now, Fred will be hanging out here until they find the 400-pound pig a proper place to live.
I just hope he gets to a place where it's a good home for him and he gets to stretch his legs.
Alan says pigs are not allowed on the majority of residential properties in Aurora. So, Fred's perfect forever home needs to be a farm or another appropriate place.
R&B artist Drake has announced his plans to take a break and focus on his health. The announcement was made Friday, just hours after his album titled For All the Dogs was released. The artist said during his show Table for One on Sirius XM's Sound 42 that he has had stomach problems for years. Drake did not specify how long his break would take, but said it could take up to a year or more.
Innovative, one-of-a-kind football helmets, plus a retired star athlete's jersey is up for grabs. Cole Higgins has more in today's Take a Look at This.
More than 100 years ago, the football team at Gallaudet University invented what's now known as the huddle. And now the school, primarily for students who are deaf and hard of hearing, is about to change the game again. Check this out. It's a 5G football helmet created by AT&T and the university. Here's how it works. Coaches on the sideline select the play from a tablet. Then the quarterback receives it in augmented reality on the digital display within the visor of the helmet, and then can call the play.
When I first put on the helmet and I first saw the play, it felt like the world just instantly lifted off of my shoulders.
The high-tech helmets will debut on the Gallaudet Bison's home turf on Saturday. From Bisons to the Bucks, the jersey Tom Brady wore in the final game of his 23-year career is heading to auction. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers number 12 jersey will be featured at an auction put on by Sotheby's and Wynn Las Vegas during the Las Vegas Grand Prix in November. If you want to place a bid, be prepared to dig deep, and I mean really deep, into your wallet, because the listed price range for the jersey is between $1.5 million and $2.5 million. The seven-time Super Bowl champ wore this jersey on January 16th, which is when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers played the Dallas Cowboys in a playoff matchup. Speaking of the Dallas Cowboys, in the middle of last Sunday's game, this Dallas fan went into labor. Haley Waterman attended the Cowboys-Patriots football game with her husband, who is a huge New England fan. And well, don't you know, her water broke during the second quarter of the game, and by the next day, her baby girl, Delaney Lou, was welcomed into a house divided. For Take a Look at This, I'm Cole Higgins.
Coming up after the break, Evan Gustafson will have your full forecast.
And we'll take a look at Valpo sports happenings from this past week. Stick with us.
Looking at our weather headlines this Saturday afternoon, we have a perfect Saturday on tap, just beautiful for fall weather. And going into today and through the rest of the weekend, we have those small shower chances, and going into next week, we might have the possibility of seeing our first frost. However, right now, looking at our live look, we have widespread or partly cloudy clouds across the area, but that sun is peeking through, making it just a beautiful day out there today. And looking at our current temperatures, we'll be sitting at about 52 degrees with the winds coming up from the northwest at 15 miles an hour with those clouds sticking around. Current radar, we'll see that we are dry. All that lake effect rain is off to our east and southwest Michigan and northeast Indiana. That should stay the case as we go out through the day today. And looking through our future radar, we'll see those clouds kind of sticking around with a chance of maybe seeing a sprinkle or two just around the area. But going through Saturday and into Sunday, we'll see those widespread clouds kind of overspread the region with those shower chances continuing. And as we go throughout Sunday, we'll see those sprinkled showers going through, but we'll be clearing out by Monday morning. And along with those showers, those future temperatures, it's going to be staying on the cooler side as we're sitting at about 42 degrees tomorrow morning. And going out throughout the day, it's going to be really the same story as we'll be sitting in those low to mid 50s. And into Monday, because of that lake, we'll be sitting a little bit warmer as than the northern areas of Illinois, sitting really close to freezing over there. And our look ahead tonight, we're sitting at about 43 degrees tonight with those clear skies. And into tomorrow, we'll see those clouds just continuing to stick around, sitting at about 52 degrees. And looking at our 7-day forecast, we're sitting at about the mid to low 50s, clear skies. And into next week, we're going to be seeing those rain chances starting to return. Back to you guys.
You know, I'm really liking how the weather is finally starting to feel like fall after so long in like the 80s and 90s.
I mean, it does feel like fall out there. I just feel like we've moved like a month a little too far in the future. Like this isn't early October. This is like towards Thanksgiving break weather. The 50s and the 40s have come a little too soon for my taste.
Yeah.
Let's ease into things.
All right. After the break, we'll take a look at this past week's sports.
Valpo Beacon football team here on campus squeezed out their first win of the season last week against Southwest Minnesota State. Michael Appel Jr. only threw for 9 of 22 passing attempts for 72 yards. He had a touchdown and 2 interceptions in the game. Solomon Davis had 3 receptions for 31 yards, and Brian Thomas had 8 carries for 34 yards. The Beacons are on the road today playing at Drake. That game kicks off at 1 p.m. Central.
The Valpo women's volleyball is on a 4-game skid. Illinois State came to town to play the Beacons at the Arc on Friday night. Illinois State swept Valpo 3-0. The Beacons kept it close in all 3 sets though, falling 21-25 in the first set, 22-25 in the second set, and 20-25 in the third set.
The Valpo women's soccer team had a home game against Illinois State at Brown Field Thursday night. The Beacons tied the Redbirds. That's our 4th tie in a row, making our record 5-2-6 for the season. We wish all the best luck to all of our Beacon sports teams this week.
Transitioning over into national news, the Yellowwood 500 took place at Talladega Superspeedway last Sunday. We know at Talladega anything can happen, and this was a wild race from start to finish. Under caution of Stage 2, the 54 Monster Energy car of Ty Gibbs started a fire on pit road after leaving the pit box with a fuel can dragging from behind. At the start of Stage 3, with 32 laps to go, cars were 3 and 4 wide before numerous cars wrecked in the back, including the number 6 of Brad Keselowski, who was cut off from the playoff running. At the end, it was 2 wide up until the final flag. But Ryan Blaney in the number 12 pushed the 4 of Kevin Harvick aside to take the checkered flag by 12 1/1000th of a second, as cars wrecked behind them. After a post-race inspection, Harvick was deemed disqualified and William Byron took home second place. A little closer to home, NASCAR is additionally set to return to the Windy City July 6th and 7th next year for the Chicago Street Race. The race accrued over $8 million, with half of the attendees being from outside of Illinois. You can sign up to get notifications on tickets, festivals, and schedule times at NASCARchicago.com. You know, I'm really excited that they decided to do the Chicago Street Race again. It was really fun to watch this past summer, and I can't wait.
Should be another fun one there across the streets of Chicago. Coming up, we will have a final look at your 7-day forecast.
Looking at our 7-day forecast, we'll see that beginning of next week, it's just going to be gorgeous, same as today, staying into about the mid-50s. However, as we go into the end of next week, we'll see rain chances starting to return.
Thanks, Evan. I have a question for you. What are your fall plans for fall break?
To be honest, I really don't know. Just mainly catching up on sleep. Really? I just need that sleep. That's all I'm asking.
Me? Oh.
Yes, you.
There wasn't a question there. There was just a glare. I'll probably end up working a couple of days of fall break because we're all broke college students up here. We gotta get money somehow.
I'm going to be going to see the Eras Tour movie with my little sister and my parents in theaters, and I'm super excited and I can't wait.
That's going to be really fun.
Oh yeah, I'm so excited.
And from all of us here at VUTV, thank you for joining us this afternoon.